I'm here with Ben Levinson of Heven AeroTech.
Good afternoon.
Thanks for being here. What are we looking at, man? Give us a quick rundown while we're out
so
here.
This is our Z1 aircraft. It's a Group 2 hydrogen-powered aircraft. Group 2 means this whole thing you see weighs 55 pounds, and this can lift 10 pounds for 10 hours. Now, everything you see behind me is all that's needed to fly. So we have our hydrogen system here. This creates hydrogen. Yeah, this can create essentially hydrogen for years to go and power multiple aircraft every day. The aircraft is uniquely designed to be scaled in manufacturing. It's fully modular, so if you see this payload bay, this can be replaced in the field. You can literally replace it.
So we built it here this morning.
So this takes literally 2 minutes to build. That's it. There's no screws needed. You bolt it on and it flies. And what you see behind me here is our ground control station. You hit the button, it flies autonomously by itself, takes off and lands, etc.
And what does this work in terms of C2? Is it C2 agnostic, or
Correct.
is it?
Yeah, I mean, we have our own. You have our own, but customers tend to have different requests. So basically, autonomous systems that can fly wherever needed at scale.
And in terms of payload, right? We have a sensor up front. What else are we talking about?
Correct.
Carrying?
So we have two main payloads. We have one up front and a secondary right here. Okay. And there's other ways to place payloads on the bottom or on the wings if needed.
Fantastic. I'm going to ask you the real questions once we're on stage.
All right, let's do it.
That way. Why hydrogen?
Great question. So we approach this from the mission set. The drone industry has been evolving the past few decades. And I started this company after being involved in a national project 6 years ago and realizing that drones as flying cameras are amazing. But once a drone can be a flying robot, that's where things will change. Batteries are great. They're quiet. They're simple to use. We all know how to use them. But they can only fly for a limited range. 10, 15 miles on a regular multi-rotor, maybe 50 miles or a bit more on a system that has a wing. If you want to go longer, you can use a combustion-powered engine or a jet engine. The problem is that these systems make a lot of noise, so you can hear it from a while away. These systems have a significant thermal signature, so it can be detected, and you have to get your fuel wherever you're going, right? So if we are in an island somewhere and you have no supply, your system is useless. Hydrogen solves all of that. So we're flying this system for 10 hours, our new radar drone for 12 hours, and we're working on expanding that in a way that's basically totally stealth, right? So there's no thermal signature. Above 200 feet, there's zero noise. And the station that you saw down there, we have a few different versions of that. You can create hydrogen in the field 24/7 forever. So it really answers all the different needs, first and foremost from the user's perspective.
How are you and how is the company thinking through this idea of contested logistics? That wherever you are, wherever you're delivering, you're always going to be under fire, and the enemy will always want to blow up your factories, your supply lines, like we saw in the Russia-Ukraine war.
Yeah, so let's take this at two different levels, right? The first level is the product itself. So the products, our drones are designed that you go to the field, right? You deploy once, you got to deploy. And once you deploy, that's all you need, literally for years. So there can be a war going on for years, and you're creating your energy source, right, at scale. So on the product level, we're very much focused on that. On the larger level, I think it's a big question of how we take drones as a technology and build it out to industrial base, right? Because if we look at what happened in Ukraine, it was fascinating that it wasn't a question of who has the best technology. It's a question of who can scale faster, right? And at first, Russia was behind, and then with the help of the Iranians and some others, they started catching up. So I think we in the US have two challenges. One is that there really isn't a significant industrial base for drones, but also that our pricing is significantly more expensive, right? And the beauty of autonomous systems is that they're autonomous, they're unmanned, there's no one in there. But if your adversary is making these systems at 10 times the price, right, you're never going to win. And if they're making it at 10 times, if your is 10 times the price, and they're making it 10 times faster, that's a 100x leg on you. So I think it's one of the most important issues to deal with today. We have partnerships. A company called Mach Industry is one of our partners. And
you're doing your production, correct?
Yeah. So we're really trying to solve the supply chain issue, right? Making a supply chain for ourselves, for the industry, that is scalable with the right capabilities, of course, but also the right pricing at scale.
Do you think the U.S. military is ready to adopt hydrogen and kind of, I don't know, abandon the old way of doing things? Is there an appetite for that right now?
Yeah, so our initial customers for the past few years, 5 years, have been the Special Forces community. Special Forces community tend to have the most advanced needs, but also tend to be more open for new technologies. A couple months ago, we had a really exciting event from my perspective, which is that we've been working with the U.S. Army in discussions for quite a while, and their point was always like, the technology makes sense, but how am I getting my hydrogen? And even though we had the refueling stations, originally it was, this is great, but if I have to buy this in scale of thousands, this can be a challenge. In our last discussion, I'm not going to say who the individual was, with one of the senior individuals, he brought over his team and he said, we know this is ready for prime time. I think there's two reasons behind that. One is the need, right? So like, if you're flying in Afghanistan and no one's going to really shoot down your drone, so have a thermal signature. Who cares? It works, right? If we're looking at the challenges coming up, like that's not going to work. So if your current solution doesn't work, even if you have challenges with the new solution, you better start focusing on it. The second reason is that we won a program with the Defense Innovation Unit early 24 to develop a broader scale of what you saw out there of a refueling station. And earlier in this year, 25, we started deploying it in the field. So we said, hey, now that we see this in the field, that's all we need. What you see outside is all we need. We feel the confidence that we don't have to solve the question of whether the Pentagon or the Army is ready for hydrogen. We just need these small systems, right? So it simplifies it and it's ready.
Last one here. You guys unveiled Raider ahead of IDEX earlier this year. What else are you building? What's next?
So we're building a lot of fun stuff. But what I would say is that we're focused a lot now on the manufacturing piece and the scale-up piece. So again, our drones are in the field with customers. Right now, like we literally have customers asking us for a whole year's demand. One customer, and we have this 10 times over. So we're focused on that. We've got a lot of other tricks up our sleeve, and that's for next time.
Yes, it is. Ben, appreciate the time, man.
Thank you.